Welcome. My name is Kate Bennett and I'm the museum curator here at the Pleasant Prairie History Museum. It is such an honor to welcome you all to this special event, one that celebrates not only a remarkable piece of baseball history, but also the incredible women who helped shape it. This evening, we will honor the trailblazing athletes of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League and celebrate their stories through film, history, and personal connection. We're proud to present a special screening of Field of Dreams, All-American Girls Professional Baseball League 80th Reunion, a story that recently received a Chicago Midwest Emmy Award for its powerful storytelling and heartfelt tribute to these pioneering women. The documentary was produced by Uniquely Wisconsin, and we're thrilled to have producer Reagan Ernst with us today. Reagan's vision, care, and dedication helped bring this important story to life, and we're so grateful for her work preserving and sharing Wisconsin's stories. And tonight, we're also celebrating something very close to home. Our exhibit, Her League Women in Professional Baseball, can be found upstairs, and it's been open for some time. But we're excited to highlight some special items from Pleasant Prairie's own Joyce Hill Westerman. It's on temporary display through the end of the year. Joyce played 8 seasons in the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League and helped lead the South Bend Blue Sox to the 1952 league championship in her final year. We're proud to share a few personal items in the exhibit that help share her story and honor her incredible legacy. We also have the official Emmy plaque on display in that exhibit, and it's a symbol of how far these stories have come and how much they continue to resonate. And we'd like to extend a huge thank you to Amy Crosby and Tracy Sunday. With the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League Players Association for all their support and collaboration in helping to put on this special event here at the Pleasant Prairie History Museum. And thank you, of course, to Janine Lesko and Mary Moore, who will be giving a few words later. Let's give them a round of applause. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Reagan Ernst, who will be introducing the documentary and presenting awards. And as I mentioned, following Reagan's remarks, we'll have Janine Lesko and Mary Moore to share a few more words. Thank you all for joining us to celebrate, and without further ado, Reagan Ernst.
Hello. As mentioned, I'm Reagan Ernst. I am the producer and director of the video we're about to watch. I'm honored to be here. I'm so honored that they asked me to be here. And so I just wanted to give a shout out to our amazing crew that I'm representing. It was not just me, it was a team of about 6 of us. And we were all very excited about this episode. So when I was a kid, I remember watching League of Their Own for the first time in history class. I remember thinking there's no way, I'm only hearing about this at 16, a women's professional baseball team, unheard of. At that point, it was a pipe dream to meet any of these women who played the league. Fast forward about 10 years, I get the news that Kenosha County has signed on for Uniquely Wisconsin, and that they will be having the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League 80th Reunion in Kenosha, where the Commons once played. When I say I jumped at the opportunity, I practically gathered all of my research that night and made my pitch the next day. Thankfully, it didn't take much convincing, and the project was greenlit. At that point, I reached out to Tracy and Amy, and the ball kind of rolled from there, which was very exciting. Interviewing these women, hearing their stories, it meant the world to me. Not that any of this is about me, this is about the women. The ones here today and the ones who are no longer with us. These women paved the way for women all across America, and without them, I may not even be where I'm at today. Although they're much too humble to take credit for that, their impact is felt. I think I speak for my entire team when we say thank you. Thank you for sharing your stories, following your passions, and continuing to push for gender equality in professional sports. I hope this Emmy plaque stands as a testament to the amazing history that happened here in Kenosha, and as a reminder to future generations of women that they belong on the field, in the spotlight, and on the national stage. These women broke barriers, so let's not let them down. Thank you. Now I think that we are going to watch the Uniquely episode in its entirety. I'm not sure who has the remote for that.
Or were we going to do remarks?
Or you can do
The awards.
Awards first?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Sorry.
I'm very well prepared. All right, so we're going to do the awards first. I'm going to pass out all the awards to the women here and speak for the women who are not here, and give those to someone to take to them.
All right.
First, we have Mary Moore. And then we have Janine Lesko. Now two women who definitely deserve some credit. Tracy Sunday. And Amy Crosby. I will just run through some of the other women that appeared in the documentary, and we'll be getting their own. Dolly Osborne, Gloria Rogers, Lois Youngin, Sue Zappe, Ginger Gascon, Maybelle Blair, and Sister Tony Hubble-Moreno. And that one is in memoriam as she recently passed. I know she really wanted to be a part of this episode, and it kind of happened right as this happened. So I know we mentioned it at the Emmys, but the whole piece is kind of dedicated to her. So. All right, now I believe these women here are going to come up and speak, say a few words, and answer some questions.
Yeah, we'll open it to Q&A.
Thank you so much.
All right, we have Janine Lesko and Mary Moore and Patty Pelton, actress from A League of Their Own. They're going to answer a few questions from the group, so we'll take probably about 3 or 4 questions. So please raise a hand, and we'll answer the questions from the group as well as we can. Anybody?
Nobody's got any questions.
Did you all see the movie League of Their Own, and what'd you think of it?
Well, nobody would have known anything about us playing ball if it hadn't been for Penny Marshall. So it was great, you know. I would tell people I played ball, you know. Well, everybody thought of softball, so everybody does that. So when the movie came out, they said, well, why didn't you tell us? I said, I did, but you weren't listening. But yeah, the movie was probably about 80–85% accurate. It was great.
So how old were you when you first got interested in playing that type of ball or even getting into a league?
Well, from when I was growing up, I'd like to play ball out in the field with the boys, because there was no girls around, and we'd go out there and cut the weeds down with a sickle on the side to make a ball diamond. And so, I mean, you know, I played softball because in school there was nothing for girls whatsoever, and you know, that was a long ways back. And so I was always sports-minded and wanted to play ball, and finally got a chance to. But, you know. What was the question again?
I said, how old were you when you really got interested in wanting to be on a league that, like, traveled? You know, you had a traveling.
I learned about the league when I was 17, I guess it was.
Okay.
So I was like a junior in high school, and I was from Ohio, and I lived in a little resort town, so there really wasn't anything to do. I mean, we had the lake, but I was always an athletic since I was 3. My mother put me into acrobatics. We used to do all these acrobats and little kids, and she had me singing. She had me doing everything. I was always running around on my bicycle. I delivered newspapers. I worked in a little restaurant and ran from the high school to the little restaurant. And this lady was one of the people in the New York City that did the dancing and singing. You know, they stick their feet up. And she'd be dancing in the kitchen, and I'd be filling the Coke and soda pop thing up and mopping the floor, and the kids would come from high school. I'd be the first one out of the building, ran down so I could serve the rest of the kids are coming down for their New York hot dog. She had a Long Island hot dog thing, and she was a real character. So she was a big part of my life, but my happy part, because my mother divorced when I was 5, and I went with my mother in the divorce, and my 2 sisters went with my dad, and he remarried. He married his secretary. There's so many movies about that, isn't it? Yeah, well, my dad married one, had a child, 2 children, and divorced that one and married another secretary, and had 2 children. And I had 2 sisters, and the first one he married, immediately his wife did not like my sisters. They didn't get along, so they put him in a school for girls, you know. So I was so lucky, so I missed the lady part of my world. So, so I was very independent, riding my bike and delivering papers and going around shooting basketball in the winter against the ice house, because we didn't have refrigerators left yet, you know, during that time. And then I became the person that was a bat girl for the town teams, the high school teams. I was always out in the field trying to steal the ball when they were having batting practice, the boys. And the coach would drive me off of the field. And so that's where I learned to throw the ball. I'd be behind, when they're doing their infield, I'd be behind them and chasing them out into the yard and throwing them back into the pitcher. So I learned to throw just from watching the boys play, you know. So then the basketball season, I'd be out, and my 2 sisters both married the best athletes in the little town that we had, and the classes were like 30 people maybe in a class. And so they were great basketball players, and they won championships all the time. So I would go out when they're playing their games at home and in intermissions and be shooting basketballs into the field. And then girls, of course, you couldn't cross the center line. You could bounce the ball twice, and that's it. So I was always playing whatever the boys were playing, and that's just the way it was, you know. So I never stopped playing when I got out of school. But my senior year, the guy that had 10 sons, and every year there'd be a different one on the town teams that I would be the bat girl. And so I got to know a lot of really nice-looking guys I had crushes on. So I was kind of always with them all the way through college, even, you know. I go back, and those were my friends that I had. So, and this guy had 10, so he would throw balls with me when the school team was playing, and I'd practice balls with him. And he's found, and
an ad in Lima, Ohio newspaper, and that this league was of girls was looking for players, and he brought it to me and said, "You ought to go up and try out for this." And I said, "I've never played on a team at all, except out in the yards where we had wore out the grass and we'd go and play, sandlot baseball." And so he said, "Well, you're left-handed, and you'd probably be able to make it because you're left-handed, and they love to have left-handed pitchers." I never pitched in my life, so I said, "What am I going to do? I don't know. I can throw the ball real well, but I've never pitched." He said, "Well, I'll show you." And he had these 10 sons, and he's taught already, So I said, "Well, if you can come by my house after school, sure, I'll go up and try out." And so he did. He came every day after school and showed me how to throw a knuckleball and showed me how to throw a curveball. And I, of course, could already throw a pretty precise pitch. So, and my ball would just spin from here to the ground. So I automatically flipped it for some reason. I don't know why, but it ended up being a great curveball. So that's how I got started in it, and I went there to Michigan and tried out, and they asked me what position I played, and I said pitcher. and so I was left-handed, and I threw it really hard when they were all out throwing balls back and forth, trying out and running and stuff. I wasn't a fast runner, so pitching was a good place for me. And so, yeah, that's I got picked for the Grand Rapids Chicks, and first time out in the field, I saw them with their little skirts on, almost turned around and went home. So, yeah, that's where I started.
Yeah, this is for Patty. Patty, can you tell us about what it was like to audition for the movie? What your audition was like?
Well, when they had already cast most of the movie, I was trying to get in on the audition, and a bunch of my friends were like, "You gotta be in this movie, they're doing this movie about women's baseball." Because I played since I was 4, and I was acting in Chicago, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" They go, "Just get in the car, we're going." I go, "I don't have an agent." They go, "Get in the car." And at this time, they'd already auditioned like Demi Moore, and every actress you can imagine came out in LA to audition. The batting cages are so full. Ann Ramsey told me that you couldn't even get into the batting cages. So every woman in Hollywood wanted to be in this thing because there were no roles for women, especially a group of women. And so I just got in the car, and I got there, and they go, "Who's your agent?" And I said, "You're not on the list." Well, I said, "Well, I should be on the list. Why am I not on the list?" And he goes, "Well, I don't know." He goes, "Here's a T-shirt, number 56, which ended up being my actual uniform in the movie. That I didn't give them the number, they handed me the uniform number 56. So think of that what you will. But I played baseball, and they came to me and said, "Where did you come from?" Because I've been playing since I was 4 years old, and I played in the boys league, and then it took me. Then David Anspaugh dropped the movie, and they said, "Well, we're not going to hire anybody back." It was Megan. Megan, who ended up playing Marla Hooch, both of us, they said, "We're not going to see you again," because Penny Marshall's picked up the film now. So I said, we had to start all over again. So we started all over again and went to the field. All of us were out on the field, and Penny they busted these girls from all over the Midwest, and they just started pointing at us after we played out on the field. And it was just like in the movie, and they were going, "You over here, Patty, you're over here, and then they just said, "Okay, see ya." And I go, "What does this mean?" I chased after the assistant director. I go, "I don't know what's happening." He goes, "You're a peach. You're in a movie." and I'm standing with all the girls, And then the first day I went to the field, Tom Hanks came over. I walked out, and it was Madonna. Madonna's like, "What is she doing here? Who's that new girl?" I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna get fired on the first day." I was like trying to stay under the radar. And Tom Hanks was like, "Hi, I'm Tom Hanks." I'm like, "Yeah. This guy, So yeah. Anyway, that was kind of my audition. I can't speak for what the rest of the girls' auditions were like, but that was mine, and here I am, so.
All right, and we have time for one more question, and Mary will let you answer this question. Good one. Yeah?
I was wondering if there were any games that stick out in your memory, any like distinct memories that you have from playing that's important to you.
Well, actually, there's two. One of them was when we played in New York, we got to play in Yankee Stadium before one of their games. So got to meet like Joe DiMaggio, Casey Stengel, the manager, Joe Rizzuto, all them guys back in the late 1940s that, you know, played. Well, this was in 1950 when we were there. So that was quite a thrill, playing before their game and then getting to watch it. But then we had another game when we were playing, and I don't even know what field, because we hit like 21 states in Canada in 3 months when we played, and played 77 games out of a 90-game schedule. We were rained out the rest. But anyway, so there's 2 gals on base, nobody out, you know, first and second. And the girl at bat, she's hits the ball to the outfield, it's a hit. So the girl on second round thinks she's gonna score, okay? So they get the ball in pretty fast. Got her tagged out without a rundown. Okay, the girl on first, she's rounded second by now. And the girl that hit the ball has rounded first. Well, the girl that was going towards third, she stopped. Started back towards second. Of course, the girl that was hit the ball was going towards second. I'm a second baseman, so I went back to the bag stag there, stood there until boom, boom, and they were going so it was a triple play, you know, all tag outs, you know, no forces or nothing. So that was pretty unique and, you know, pretty proud of that. All I had to do was just stand there like that.
You knew what to do, though.
All right, thank you so much, ladies.
We're gonna get the video going here.
One hour, your turn. And no more questions for another hour.
I can still hit them. I can't hit that little ball, though. Well, baseball is in your blood. If somebody doesn't like baseball, I think they're absolutely out of their mind.
How'd I get into it? Well, I love sports, you know, play out in the field with the boys.
Sandlot, we'd throw a shirt down on the field for first base and second base, or
I took chalk and put it on the cement when I pitched and practiced hitting.
You know, I grew up without television. You probably never met anybody that grew, unless it was your great-grandmother, that grew up without television. So that's why we played ball.
Walking out on the field and saw them light up the beautiful diamond with the chalk mark and our lines and everything, and the flag waving out there. And you know what you say? Oh, Maybelle, you're a professional baseball player. I'm here for our reunion. I think it's the 80th reunion of the League of Their Own. Of the All-Americans.
It is the 80th anniversary of the All-American Women's Baseball League, and it's great to be here to celebrate with them this milestone. They're very inspirational. They all have wonderful stories, and that still after 80 years, them continuing to come together as much as they can to share their stories and be together. It's really amazing.
the first 4 teams that ever played for the All-American Girls Baseball League, the Rockford Peaches, the South Bend Blue Sox, the Racine Bells, and the Kenosha Comets.
The Kenosha Comets were part of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. They were more than just a baseball team, they were a symbol of determination, passion, and progress in women's sports. The story of the Kenosha Comets begins with none other than Phil Wrigley, longtime owner of the Chicago Cubs. During the war, he wanted to make sure baseball stayed alive in America. With this in mind, he came to the conclusion that he wanted to start a women's baseball league. In 1942, Kenosha became one of the first 4 original teams to join the league, chosen for its proximity and its potential. The Comets officially opened the 1943 season in their home city.
Come on, let's go.
Unless they've seen some actual footage of us playing ball, I don't think they have any idea of how good we were. We played good baseball.
I led my team in almost every category: hits, runs, RBIs, home runs, stolen bases, you name it.
If you only lost 2 games in 4 years, you remember those 2 games. I don't really want to pat myself on the back, but that was pretty good. Wouldn't you say?
It's better than eating, sleeping, or dreaming, or whatever. You get it in your blood and it never leaves. And I'm 96 now, and it'll never leave until I'm on the other side of the grass. Then I'm still sure I'll be in my casket thinking about it. Hey, throw me that sucker. Oh, don't pitch it to me like that. Throw it to me. See, I can still catch.
Hey, yeah, you can.
You know, once people saw them play ball, I mean, they thought, these girls are good. And we were good, you know. I mean, it wasn't just out there throwing the ball around like on the playground or something like that. You know, this was our job.
Our fans were loyal. They came every night. We played 7 nights a week with doubleheaders on Sunday. Probably the most harassing we got was when we were talking about each other, when I was giving Sue a bad time about being a Peach and how we still hate the Rockford Peaches. You know, it was competition among ourselves rather than from outside.
I just was really a rookie for 2 years, learning, scared to death, playing in front of all those fans. And, you know, girls never had an opportunity to be like the boys in the stadium, even in high school. You know, we never had people watching us play anything.
And I thought I was the cutest girl that ever lived, you know, being in a uniform like that with the dress and everything. I loved it. We didn't have sliding pads. So right today, you can still feel gravel out of my rear end here.
I'm assuming you've all seen A League of Their Own. The movie, it's about 75% accurate, I think. No manager would have called, there's no crying in baseball, you know.
So are you saying there is crying in baseball?
There is a lot, and you're absolutely right, there is crying in baseball, quite a bit. Oh, my biggest advice is for ball players, women ball players, or women athletes in general, is follow your passion. Give it everything you've got. Go for it, in other words.
Do what feels natural. If you have athletic ability, then use it. About 4 or 5 years ago, the All-Americans created a subsidiary. We named it American Girls Baseball. And the whole idea of that was to promote girls and women's baseball in this country, which was being neglected. And I think one of the things that got me going on it, we had a players meeting, and a few of the people in the players meeting said, Sue, they're not doing anything. And then I came back home and I found this little girl playing Little League, and she was going to be promoted to softball the next year. She said, Sue, I don't like softball, and they're going to make me play it. And I thought, this is wrong, because that was me 80 years ago. All the sports that we have now came from our League of Our Own movie. It got girls interested in sports, but yeah, we never had a professional women's baseball team. Figure that one out.
The point is that women and there are 29 countries that have professional baseball, but the United States has it, but no one knows about it, and we certainly don't have a league.
I would love to see another professional baseball team for the ladies. I mean, I think all of us in our league are hopeful for future women's baseball teams. We would love to see it. It'll never be another League of Their Own like ours, but there should be a league.
Thank you to everyone for welcoming us here. It's been wonderful to get to play in a historic city, a historic town.
Yes.
But a huge thank you goes out to all of you for just paving the way for us. So I have a little gift just to say thank you from all of us at USA Baseball who are here because of you all. So thank you.
We support you.
Thank you.
Thanks for all you did.
The All-American Girls Professional Baseball League 80th reunion held in Kenosha was an extraordinary event that truly showcased the rich history of women's baseball. Getting a chance to come back to historic Simmons Field for a game versus USA Women's Team and the Women's League was an amazing sight to see. Simmons Field is a very special place in Kenosha. Located not far from our beautiful lakefront, Simmons Field has been a pillar in baseball for the community for many years. It was an honor for Kenosha, the proud home of the Kenosha Comets, to host this momentous occasion. We wanted to ensure Kenosha never forgets its deep history in women's sports. To honor this, Kenosha County has officially proclaimed August 3rd through the 5th, 2023 as Kenosha Comets and the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League Days.
Women's baseball players who are here in attendance today as we celebrate the WGPBL reunion here at historic Simmons Field.
Got it all the way there.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You don't get to warm up.
Way to go, Mary!
It takes us a long time to warm up.
You got that right.
I'll just talk loudly. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, one more round of applause for that. I just wanted to say thank you again, everyone, for being here. The museum's open till 6, so we've got a little over half an hour. Please go check out the exhibit, the wonderful items on loan from Tracy Sunday that belong to Joyce Hill Westerman, and the Emmy plaque, of course. Please also feel free to eat some more food. And then at 7 o'clock over at the Lake Andrea Beer Garden, there's a movie night screening of A League of Their Own. So I hope. And yes, everyone will be there. Mary and Janine and Patty will all be there. And I'll be there too, so come on by and say hello.
Kate will have the merch table open just for another 10 minutes, so if there's any last
Okay.
items.
10 more minutes for merch, so get on over there. Okay. Thanks, everyone.